Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So in front of us, this is the 2023 Toyota GR86. It's finished off in steel gray. MSRP for the base model starts around $28,000. So you have an incredibly affordable sports car that's also practical and a lot of fun to drive. So starting off with what powers the 86, this has a 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. This model is paired to the 6-speed manual transmission. This pumps out 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. Sent to those rear wheels, it can propel this 2,800 pound coupe from 0 to 60 in as quick as 5.5 seconds for the auto, closer to 6 seconds for the manual. Top speed is 130, and as far as fuel economy goes, you're looking right around 20 miles per gallon in the city, 27 out on the highway. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, for this 86, I want to start off with these bulges that are a part of the hood. I think it's a really nice design flowing all the way down to those headlight housings, where this does have LED DRLs. We don't have LED turn signals, however, but it's a really nice design. And then there's two other lines that come down to both top sections there of that grille, where this has plenty of cooling to provide a lot of cooling, or a lot of cutouts for cooling to that engine. And there's also some trim pieces on both sides. I do wish that they were functional, but it gives it a great look. And then we have the lower section there with the end indentions that really give it a cool look. So for a sports car, I think it has a really aggressive design to it, especially for this price point. It gives you a really nice look. Now, as we work our way to the side, for the base model, this gets a set of 17-inch wheels with that two-tone design, multi-spoke pattern. This does have base brakes on it. And there is a functional trim piece though, just behind this tire, which I think is really cool to see. That's why I wish that front one was functional, so the airflow can go all the way through and exit. Now, off of that trim piece, check out that curved and contoured piece for the lower side skirt. That is really cool to see. It gives it a really nice design. We have a gloss black for the side mirrors, which is a nice contrast, as well as all of the black surrounding the window trim. And then in back, the base model does not get a spoiler, but it has a really nice design to it for that trunk section. We have the third brake light, backup camera, even a gloss black trim accent piece that runs through it to match nicely with these taillight housings. Now in the lower section, there's some plastic for that diffuser. We have the dual exhaust and the reverse light too. And what's nice about this is that you can use the button on the key fob or just push on this button on the trunk, and that gives you access into your trunk space. Now for the size of this, it's not bad. You can fold the back seats down. There's a little bit of storage underneath the floor if you need to place any items there. So it's pretty decent for its size. So you could absolutely use this as a daily driver if you needed to. Now we still have the smart key, so you can lock and unlock this from both door handles, which is nice. Door panel has some leather and stitching on the armrest. We have the window controls, side mirror adjustments, a really nice spot for your water bottle. There's no obstructions here, so I can put in some pretty tall water bottles there, still have room with the armrest there and the grab handle. And then for the base, we have the two-tone cloth seats with that nice pattern running down the insert. They are manual, so we have the bar, height adjustment, recline and incline, and then the lever to fold the seat. Now, this is pretty small. We really don't have any legroom currently on that passenger side, but at 5'10", I could ride in the back. We'd have to adjust the front seat, of course, and I could at least go from point A to point B, short mini city trip or something. So it's usable for that. It's really for that extra interior storage though. And as we work our way to the front seat now, we have a very nicely leather wrapped steering wheel with the GR badge. Let's fire this up though. We have GR on the engine start stop button, which is nice to see. Very nice steering wheel. It's pretty small, so it makes it really good for the twisties, as you will see. Left side, there's volume and tuning, Bluetooth controls. Right side, we have another voice command button, and all of these are for the left side of that gauge cluster setup. So you don't have a ton of information to go through, but you do get some good vitals that you can monitor and easily go through. You can even look at your power and the distribution of that. There's a lap timer, G-force meters, and then you can even look at your music, pull up some units and screen and car settings too, just to adjust that as needed. There's any messages, and then we are back to that original screen. Now right in the middle, there's the tach along with miles per hour. It will also show you your gear. So when you're of course moving, you can see that. And then on the right side, there's the fuel level along with your engine temperature, date and time, and the outside temperature. Now you can change the tach by using the track mode button. So if you hold on that, you will see the track illuminate in the lower section, and then the tach will change. And then on that left side, there's some vital temperatures and then current lap times that you can start. So depending on the driving that you are doing for the day, very easy to toggle between those. On the left side, there's a trunk release along with a dimmer switch, one air vent, 2 air vents up top. And then for this touchscreen system, it's pretty easy to go through. We have volume and power and tuning, radio, media, phone. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you do have to go into plugging them in. They have to be wired in order to do that. So that's located right in the middle there for those to activate. For me, it's a pretty easy system to go through. It gives me what I need to drive this every day. Having your phone being able to be paired to it is a huge plus for this car. There's some radio controls over on that right side too. And then the climates are laid out extremely well. Fan speed, dual zone for the temperature, and then we have the rest of those controls along with defrosters and the mode button right in the middle. So it's nice to see those toggles for the rest of those. For the 6-speed manual, reverses over and up, and you have the backup camera with the guidelines, and then of course the rest of these 6 gears. Now this does have a manual parking brake. I do kind of wish it was over on the passenger side. It's sometimes a little bit in the way here when you go to shift, but nonetheless you still have that. A little bit of wasted space right here. Maybe I can do something with that in the future. And then for the center armrest, that's where you get your 2 cup holders. So it still makes it very practical to be able to place those right in the middle. And then the glove box has a good amount of space for all that info. Dome lights are up top. And a good bit of visibility. Pillars really aren't that bulky, so it does make it easy to see in both sides. But now let's go ahead and get this out on the road. And from second gear, here we go. And we're up to speed just like that. So for 30 grand, you're not getting a lot of power, but you're getting a very, very, very fun vehicle to drive. This could be your very first sports car, especially at that price point. It's something that would be relatively affordable to get into. And if this is your first manual transmission, very easy to drive. The clutch pedal is very short. It's also pretty lightweight too. And then we have an engaging shifter where you can feel once you get into that gear. So it gives you that good driver feedback. And like I mentioned earlier, we have what gear you're in. So if you happen to forget, you can clearly see it above the tach there. And I gotta say, this has been incredibly fun so far. I've owned it, filming this right now, I've owned this about a week, and I really don't have too many complaints on it at the moment. One thing that I will say is the placement of this button right here to open up the center armrest. I have hit with my elbow and popped open the center armrest. So it's in a little bit funky of a position, especially where my elbow is resting on the shifter. And that's it's kind of interesting. I keep hitting it, so I'll probably just get used to that. But other than that, really for the money, there's not too much I can complain about. I do wish that Toyota and Subaru offered a little bit more power for this. Maybe there could be like a performance version if you wanted one with a turbo, or they just gave it a little bit more bump, especially in the torque. Not to say in the stock form right now it's not fun. It's so much fun to drive, but there are some points and some driving where I could see more torque, maybe a little bit more power, just to give it that next level. So if you were interested in bumping up just a little bit without going, you know, much more expensive, maybe they could offer one that was still at an affordable price point without breaking the bank. But that's really not a complaint that I can talk about with the car, because I don't think they're really going to do that. And of course you can always add more power later if you wanted to. But driving this $30,000 car, it doesn't really feel like it's 30 grand. It feels very nice. There's plastic and stuff everywhere. So that's to be expected, of course, for this price range. But I think it's still a nice interior. it's what you would expect basically. And it's a pretty practical vehicle, especially with the back seat room. So if this is your only vehicle, it's definitely something that you can daily drive and have a lot of fun with. So that's going to wrap it up for the 2023 Toyota GR86. Make sure you guys subscribe. Stay tuned for the build on this car. I have a lot of parts planned for it and a lot more driving adventures to go. So if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Again, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.